ladies and gentlemen, I have done it. I have reached the quad digits. I have reached or broken the 1000 MMR rating. Okay. Finally is a bit of a lie. I have gotten up there before, but I didn't catch the game. But I have gone back up there again. And it has been a game with Jess. Shocker, I know. Well, this is also a game against a CO that I haven't covered before. Adder. So, and Adder is actually like top pick of tier 4. And sometimes, depending on the map, he's tier 3. He's a very tricky CO to go up against. He doesn't have any day-to-day abilities, unlike Jess or Cole or anyone else aside from Andy. But he has the lowest power bar within the entire game. His normal costs 2 stars or 2 bars to activate, and then his super is 5. And his Adder's biggest thing is movement. Every single one of his units, it doesn't matter if they're foot soldiers, naval units, air, or ground, they're going to get that +1 movement with his normal and that +2 movement with his super. And with it only costing like 5 bars or 5 stars, however you want to say it, yeah, Adder can definitely go all over a map very, very quickly. Meanwhile, Jess, she has to spend a little bit more power to actually get that movement, and it only affects vehicles. So Adder has the movement advantage in this matchup. The thing that Jess has, however, is firepower. And this is where it comes down to which of the 2 COs are better. Because if you want movement, both of them can do movement, it's just one is better at it, but the other has firepower. And it's actually map dependent with these two. The less properties there are, Adder like usually comes out on top, but the more properties there is, Jess will start shining through. Because you'll start teching up into more expensive units. Neo tanks are going to be like common in that area. And while bombers are an issue, Jess can respond to it with a fighter, and it costs less. And her aerial units actually are pretty good. They never have to run out. Like, they never have to worry about fuel or ammo. Ever. And once again, we are on Shadows Chasing Endlessly. And oh boy, I don't know what it is with this map. I really don't. I feel like I've covered a lot of games on this map. I genuinely do. But I'm gonna go ahead and head up to the airport, like, fairly quickly. I want my stuff. And this Adder's actually the one that goes with the tank. So immediately my stuff that I like to do with the recon, I don't exactly get a chance to do it yet. But I have 2 infantry being sent to the top, one capturing the property, and then the other's going to capture the property right by it. Go ahead and move my black boat to block the infantry from getting the easy access, to a point where it has to spend one more turn in order to actually capture something. And Adder, it looks like he's not going to use his, he's not going to use his black boat to block my units. So my units have free reign over the top area so far. And I'm going to be the one to get the second tank. So, when it comes to brawling, Adder has to be a little bit careful. Because if he doesn't have side slip active, then Jess more than likely will come out on top. So he has to try to keep his units in place. But here's the thing. With a comm tower, Jess can get that guaranteed 2-hit kill. And because he built an artillery down at the bottom, that tank down there is good for easy pickings. Now, this does invite the other 2 tanks to attack. It's just exactly what he does. Personally, I would have taken out I wouldn't have crippled both of the tanks. I would have taken out one of the tanks. Because that other tank is forced to retreat. So, but it is good to cripple your enemy as well, like your opponent. And already he's teching up. Like it's day 8. And thankfully, I'm gonna pull ahead on the capture game. But also, he hasn't gotten his airport yet. And you would think, okay, it's day 9 right now. He'll get his airport. No. He sent both of his infantry forward. So, I don't exactly have a decent answer to that medium tank, but that medium tank will not go near my units so long as it's protected by artillery. And I'm gonna go ahead and force that, we'll go ahead and force him to do something about this capture. So, and here's the odd thing. So, and this is what I mean. Adder has the shortest power bar in the entire game. He already has side slip. I don't even have turbocharge yet. As a capture, and he's finally starting to capture his airport. Finally. Infantry, and then infantry. If he had that comm tower, that would have been a 2-hit kill. But he skipped the comm tower, and he also skipped his airport. Which, that's going to cost him very, very big here in a moment. Brings his artillery forward, and he also gets a anti-air. Battlecopters are very, very strong in this map. Typically you want to build an anti-air after your second battlecopter gets built. But on this map, where battlecopters can pretty much go anywhere, and the anti-air has a little bit of difficulty getting to them, yeah, I can see that. But turbocharge here, I'm gonna go ahead and air up this capture down here. I don't want him to have the airport. No, heck no. And I'm gonna go ahead and make that top island mine. And I'm also gonna go ahead and pull back a little bit. And I get it to a point where all my units here are covered with the artillery. Every single one of them. So if this medium tank wants to go ahead and destroy any of those tanks, it's going to get a face full of artillery. And then an APC. I don't like this play. I don't. I really do not like the APC. I do think it's better to just... there are plays that you can do with the black boat. Just let the thing die. And this is also what I mean by the battlecopters. This anti-air, it can't reach it. Even with side slip being active, it cannot reach that battlecopter. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull back because I see a Neo tank over there. And I'm gonna purchase a Neo tank myself. Between Jess and Adder, Jess has the better ground vehicles, no matter what. But Adder doesn't even have his comm tower or his airport. And I saved up 8k. Yeah, I'm going to... Like, this is the part where he's going to get punished very, very badly. And I also would have just joined up. Like, Like, I would have joined this infantry up with this one to ensure that I would get the capture on that airport. And then takes up to another medium tank. So Adder has 2 medium tanks and Neo tank. Meanwhile, I only have the 1 Neo tank. But that's about to change here in a moment. I don't want him to get that city up there, so... Hey! Hey, I win the coin flip! I have played so many games where I lose that coin flip. I just still 1-1 infantry. And I'm going to build Stealth Fighter. And I'm also going to kill that infantry. And I see a lot of damaged vehicles. I'm going to go ahead and take it, but I am serving him. I am serving up a lot of my force by doing this. It's a very risky play, don't get me wrong. But I feel a little confident in doing this because, well, I have the Stealth Fighter. And the only way to counter a Stealth Fighter is with a fighter of your own or another Stealth Fighter. But good luck catching a Stealth Fighter with another Stealth Fighter. And for whatever reason, he decides to fire on my black boat. Okay, and he moved the medium tank. Okay. And bring that bad boy down, and then it's hidden. Anti-air kit is no longer a problem to it, no matter what. Yeah, I'm just going to keep interrupting that capture over and over and over again. And I'm also going to shift my forces a teeny tiny bit. I am moving it in range of his artillery, but I don't really care. I should care though, because side slip is active. But using the Neo tank to kill off a 4 HP tank. No, that should have been the medium tank that did it. Yeah, that should have been the medium tank. So that anti-air up there is kind of annoying, but not much I can do about it anymore. And there you go. Now he joins up to infantry. But I'm going to go ahead and pop turbocharge. And this Stealth Fighter has a clear shot to this Neo tank. 5 HP, right then and there. And artillery just want to finish it off. And then the Neo tank will take out that medium tank. He does have the comm tower, so he does get that 20-20. He does get that 20% firepower when he has his powers active, which it's Adder. He's going to get it active a lot. Bring that down to 3, just enough to delay it another turn. My god. He has to divert the his medium tank all the way down to the bottom. Like that, you should never have to do that. Like, Adder not getting that airport is really, really costing him this. But Neo tank gets a good kill. Artillery gets a decent shot. And medium tank on a city. Like, I get that this is a turbocharge, so 20%, 30%, and then 10-10, that's 40%. Yeah. Like, I get that this is a Neotank that has 140% firepower right now, but god dang. This is a medium tank on a city, too. And joins it up into an 8. I have forced 2 infantry to join up onto this airport. I'm actually pretty proud of that. Because it is making his units slowly dwindle down. But there's nothing to oppose that tank. I'm going to move that tank. And then the tank's just going to go after the anti-air. And because it's the only anti-air there, sure, why not? And then we do get the luck roll. And my artillery's safe. Pull back a little bit. Why not? I got 28k. Get another stealth fighter. Why not? There's literally no answer that Adder can have for this right now. Usually stealth fighters are not the play, but without your opponent having an airport, there's nothing that your opponent can do. Unless they have a billion extra infantry to just keep circling it. But this is Jess. She never has to worry about ammunition. She never has to worry about gas. That stealth fighter is going to stay there. It's going to survive. Like, eventually Eagle may run out because of the stealth mechanic, but Jess never has to worry about it. There's nothing that this Adder can do. So, and he didn't get interrupted, but he finally captures his airport though. And then using the Neotank to my goodness. He's throwing away his units now. A Neotank shouldn't be attacking an infantry. Unless you really, really need that infantry dead. There's no reason why that Neotank should have gone after that infantry. Especially if it's 4 HP. No. No, no, no. And I'm in a position where I don't need to use turbocharge. I really don't. And that medium tank is down there. It's out of the way. There's no reason for me to ever worry about it. Medium tank's going to come in. And I'm going to threaten 2 cities. Not only that, I'm also going to take a pot shot at this Neotank. It's on a property, but it's going to take a decent amount of damage too. And that thing costs a lot when it's being repaired. Like, you might as well buy a mega tank at that point. That's how much it'll cost. Because he's only got 17k in the bank now. His Neotank attacks mine, kills it. Hey, 1 less Neotank, but there's still 2 stealth fighters around. And he can't afford that fighter. So he resigns. My goodness. Let me see the stats here. It was 21 kills to 15 deaths. 2 Neotanks, 2 medium tanks, 1 anti-air, 5 tanks, 2 artillery, and 9 infantry. And then I lost a Neotank, my black boat, 6 tanks and artillery, and 6 infantry. So he did outdo me when it came to tank kills, but my focus wasn't even on tanks. My focus wasn't even on ground units this game. It was focused in the air. And that's not something Jess typically does. Like, but she's also completely capable of doing that. Like, it's just 10% firepower. That's it. Being able to refuel your aerial units like this, and hell, even your naval units, that is well worth the 10%. It really is. Now, the infantry does hurt, but even then, I'd still take it. I really would. Jess is a good CO. Like, she brings a lot of firepower, like, that you might not even expect half of the time. Like, if she's able to rival Max and Grit in terms of their respective firepowers with their respective units, and she's in tier 4, you know something's up. Oh well. But hey, I made it to 1,000. That's an accomplishment. I'm glad it was against a CO that I actually struggle with. Like, I have a lot of bumps when it comes to Adder. I really do. I don't know what it is with him. Like, that movement messes me up. No. But if you're interested, you should definitely click on this link over here. Because when I said earlier that Jess rivals Max in firepower, I wasn't lying, actually. Over here, this link actually shows a video of it. Of her brawling with Max. You should check it out.